In this video, I want to share with you a method that is quite easy and simple, and in just a few days can help you at 20% to your deposit. In my case, that's an extra $16,000. So let's take a look at where to start, what tools to use, and how a beginner can, after watching this video, step into the adult world of trading and, accordingly, repeat this result. Get comfortable, and let's get started with this video. The first trade I want to open is on the Australian dollar/Canadian dollar currency pair, and, accordingly, start increasing my deposit. And later in this video, we'll go over all the risk management. We'll break down entry points together, and also discuss which currency pairs are worth analyzing and which ones aren't. So, as I mentioned, my goal is to earn about $16,000. That is, this will be roughly 20%. To achieve this, yes, I could use some pretty risky strategies that beginners shouldn't try to copy. But right now, I'm using a method that any beginner trader can actually follow. We won't be taking big risks. We're going to earn steadily in the long run. That's why the first thing you need to understand is that there won't be any quick money here. If you think you can do this in, say, just 1 hour, well, you actually can, but the risks will be pretty high. What I'm showing is a strategy that will literally let you make plus 20% in 2 or 3 days. These are real, achievable results. If you spend, for example, 1 hour a day, then in roughly 3 hours of trading over 3 days, you can achieve a 20% gain. As you can see, the first trade is bringing me a good profit. So we've already made 2,000 out of 16,000. That's a really good trade with a booster bot. As you can see, it made a pretty good move and brought in a decent profit. I opened the trade at 3% on $2,500. Now, 3% is basically the same as 2,500. We can raise our stakes and open a trade at 4%. Yeah, with a big balance, you can see the difference right away. For example, when you open at 4%, that's 3,000. And when you open at 5%, that's already 4,300. So I'll open the next trade at 4%. Yeah, with small balances it doesn't work as well, because you'll have a really drawn out line where you're trying to grow your deposit. So what does the chart look like at the beginning? So basically, we have a chart of amount versus time. At the start of growing your deposit, you'll have a line like this, which might even fluctuate and not really grow much. But then, at some point, it will start to rise very quickly and sharply, just like the segment where we made our profit. So you just need to wait out this part. And this takes about 3 days. If you can hold out for those 3 days, then honestly, 100% gain on your deposit is just around the corner, and after that, it can multiply even more. Alright, I'll open the next trade at 4%. And let's talk about how, as a beginner, you can actually make big money. The very first thing is, of course, the tool. Here's what I'll do. I'll leave a link to our robot in the description. I'll make an exception. It will be absolutely free, specifically under this video. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to download anything. You can go right now and get this robot. So, only under this video, go right now, grab this tool, and start working with it. It gives very high quality, reliable signals, and it's impressive when rate is between 80 and 90% positive trades, if you use it correctly. Break time equals 0.5s / you also have 12 distinct currency pairs to choose from, where it performs really well. So, you have a pretty good and diverse selection. And you also have a choice of time frames, from 1 to 5 minutes. So, pick any currency pair, choose any time frame you like. Then set the percentage and, accordingly, close equally confident trades. In general, I'll leave the link to the robot in the description. Be sure to check it out and activate it if you want to trade, you could say, on autopilot. Let's move on. The next currency pair is the British pound and the Canadian dollar. I select this currency pair, set the trade time to 1 minute, and now I wait for the signal. And now let's talk about our percentages, because a lot of beginners, specifically beginners, make big mistakes here. And that goes for both sides of the spectrum. The first type is when people say you should only risk 1% of your deposit. Alright, just do the math. If you work with 1%, your growth chart is going to look like this. You're not really going to grow much. Well, maybe after a few years, sure, 1% will actually be a significant amount for you. It's also a big mistake to assume that, for example, if you risk 70% of your deposit, that's also extremely risky. In this case, you might see your balance shoot up really fast, then drop into the negative, then shoot up again, and drop again. So, obviously, there's no stability here either. That's why you need to use proper risk management. Again, I'm saying this specifically for beginners, for people who are just starting to trade and still don't know what balance they should use. So here's what you should do. Let's say, for example, you have, let's say, $2,000. So, in reality, that's not a very large deposit for trading these days. So we should use, for example, anywhere from 5 to 20%. In this case, that would be from 100 to, accordingly, for $100. That's your working deposit. Those are the working percentages that will actually allow you to achieve this kind of growth. Yes, maybe it won't be very steady for you at first, but still, you really can achieve success. When you reach a certain level, when you get through this period, then you can work with 3 to 10%. And after that, things work a little differently. When you have a working deposit, meaning a good amount, let's say at least $20,000, this is important to remember, then we can work purely for working percentages, that is, from 3 to 10, and not take any risks at all. So you can then live off the interest, not take any risks, and just trade calmly. By the way, this trade is bringing me $3,100, and I've already made $5 grand. So basically, I've already made a third of my target amount. I'll open the next trade again at 4%. That's another $3,500. Let's take a look at this trade. I'm choosing the Euro to Swiss franc currency pair, switching to the booster bot, and selecting this currency pair. I set the trade time to 1 minute, and let's just watch this trade without any commentary. There's a buy signal, so I'm opening my buy trade for 4% of my working deposit. Let's watch. An excellent trade brings me $2,700. So, in just 3 trades, I made a profit of $8,000. Yeah, some people might say that's a lot, but basically, I made a 10% gain on my deposit. So, if I had opened a few more trades at 3 or 4% each, I would have ended up with that same 20% gain. So once again, go right now to the link under this video, activate the booster bot, and it will be available to you immediately. Again, only under this video. And I also recommend you share this video with your friends so they can learn about this bot too, which gives such awesome and accurate signals. As you can see, just 3 trades plus $8,000 and a very confident movement. If you want the same results, then I've told you the whole principle, the whole secret. You don't need to take too many risks. Trade with 5 to 20%, make smart trades, and then you can really achieve great heights. But most importantly, as I said, the mistake all beginners make is surviving the initial period when your balance is still small. For example, here it's already $5,000, right? And here, accordingly, we have 0. Or let's say we have $200. Let's even write it like this. And accordingly, it's very hard for you to make progress at first. You'll be stuck in one place. But then at some point you'll gain confidence, you'll grow your deposit, and from there it will only keep increasing. This period, this stage, is the hardest for all traders. And right here, you need to be working with 5 to 20%. Anything above that is risky, and anything below will just keep you stuck in this period for longer. So your 5% won't be here, but somewhere over here. And after that, maybe some growth will start. So the chart will look something like this. So choose the option that works for you. I recommend all beginners who join us to use exactly these percentages and, accordingly, earn steadily with them. So, if you have any questions, just write to us, either in the comments or to our support account. Grab the booster bot using the link in the description. I'll post it again in the pinned comment. Goodbye for now. Don't forget to rate this video, and I'll see you in the next ones.